When it comes to increasing your conversions, there's always different things that you could be working on. Should be working on your header, should you be working on your testimonials, should be working on your bullet points. Today, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes to a coaching call that I recently did to show you how to think about these incremental changes that you could be making in your sales process and how that can be compounded to making a really big difference. Let's begin. Next person we have up is Chris Cook. Chris, welcome. If you're here, I'm just going to mute you right now. Chris, I think it was just about a month ago you were on a hot seat. Walk us through real quick the audience you serve, the result you help them generate, as well as what you would like to be able to get out from this hot seat.
Sure. Yeah, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Might have been 3 weeks ago. And I think we had quite a lengthy discussion. We're big business events. My boss Adam came on as well and spoke to you. We help people scale their businesses, typically from around about 100,000. And the first part of our journey, which we're sort of chiefly involved in right now, is getting people to come to one of our free events using a simple opt-in page. We do a lot of social media training. So they come to a social media event, learn how to grow their business, build their business using social media. And then obviously we pitch them additional programs when we're at that. And we help them scale their businesses. It's what we do. We've had a lot of history doing it. Adam's been doing it for about 10 years. And we were kind of suffering with low opt-in rates. So you gave us lots of feedback on the pages. And the other thing that we were kind of suffering with was a high cost per lead. So you gave us lots of ideas about how we should improve our ads as well. We're currently sending traffic to our landing pages predominantly through Facebook and YouTube. I must admit, we haven't been able to do too much to improve the advertising, although we have recently been working on new creatives and new copy. But I have made quite a lot of updates to the landing pages, the opt-in pages for the free events. So really, I was just hoping you could take another look at those and let me know what you think.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. So I am going to take a look at the link. Is this the newly revamped?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. I can see a big.
So we had no framework before. We had no, sort of proof that people had used it, and so we just took all of that advice, and then I just redesigned the whole thing.
That's amazing. It's very, very interesting to see how fast you took action on the on the feedback that was given. Okay, so. Let's talk about this, okay? So first of all, how do you feel after making these amendments? Have you ran a new set of ads? You've noticed the difference in numbers? So what has happened since you made this switch? Or is it too early to tell because the event hasn't happened yet?
I think it's a bit early, to be honest. These have been up online for probably just over 7 days now, and I think everyone agrees it looks so much better. So I mean, that's great. I've been tracking the opt-in rates, and they are still a bit inconsistent, still a bit up and down. But I personally feel that's to do with the ads. I don't think that we're actually getting the right people onto the pages on some days. We're using campaign budget optimization. We've got lots of different YouTube ads out there going to different audiences. So I actually feel like the inconsistency is more down to the traffic that's coming across rather than the actual performance of the page itself. So some days, to answer the question, some days it's been better, other days it's been about where it was.
Okay, cool. So I will give you that big picture analysis based on like the structure that I know what would make a difference in the conversions. The first one I'll begin with is usually like always, the above the fold real estate over here. So right now this takes up approximately 30% of what's above the fold. And it's not that it's about 35% that bothers me. It's the fact that the call to action is not above the fold. So if the call to action is not above the fold, and I'll always test this out at 100% on a typical laptop, I want to be able to trim out the fat, right? So what I would do is I want to ask myself, okay, so what is not adding value to prime real estate over here? And I want to be able to trim it out. Okay, so for example, you've got social media monetization unlocked, and now this thing's taking up another 10%, which is like a free in-person event. So I want to be able to think about, can I narrow it down so that I'll trim this out by at least 40% minimum? Okay, so I would probably make this logo smaller. I'll probably merge these two things together so it actually says
makes sense.
A free in-person event, right? London dates, and then the countdown was good. And then I'll probably trim this two portions out, right? The fat over here, because that's not necessary, right? I want to be able to eliminate that so that's this slim bar on top where it just shows them the main thing that's important, which is the timer and countdown to the event, to mention that it's a free in-person event happening in London. That's the main information we want to be able to do. Okay, so
yeah, sure.
Yep. Okay, like that. Okay, so let's take a look and see. So the case studies, I like how now there's like the before and after, have zero social media presence, right? Going from unknown. Okay, this is definitely very good.
And this is Adam giving awards to the people that have reached certain goals using the system. And this is just obviously a lot of feedback that we've had. We've got lots more.
Okay, so what I would do is, after I've got like the big moving pieces in place, what I would do is I want to be able to really now nitpick and just zoom in on the smaller things. Okay, so like for example, like this screenshot over here, while it's saying great things, to me now it would be like, I want to be able to now prioritize which are the ones that should take priority over others, right? So it's like, now that there's so many, what should we put? So over here, this is where if a person has requested that they want to keep their names private, or in some cases, if you feel that they're going to be getting a lot of DMs and you don't want, unknown people sending them DMs, then what I would do is I would not blank out the entire thing altogether, because when it's blanked out completely, then that's when it really could be anybody, right? It could be my mom giving me an amazing comment. So what we want to be able to do instead is, you might notice that sometimes I would just blank out the last part of the last name. So this would be like, if I were to blank out, let's say Katie, it would just be Katie M, so that there's still some sort of profile picture and it looks significantly more legitimate than this, because this truly could be anybody.
Sure, yeah.
The next level to this, to add on to what it is that you did, is now all of the testimonials are clumped in one place. And there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes what I do is, if I feel that there's a case study that is related to a specific step, then right now our audience, they're just scrolling now, because now it's too many of the same things all clumped into one place. So for example, Katie, you said 20,000 followers. Thank you so much for helping me reach that. You know where this testimonial should be placed, right? This is where it should be placed after step number one. After step number one, which is building an instant audience, right? This would be like, here's what happened for Katie after she utilized this step. Bam, right? It's like, oh, now there's prominence and people are actually utilizing that and reading it. And also that there's variation so that the testimonials are not all in one place. Okay. So if let's say now, and by the way, I sometimes, or rather still very often, place testimonials together, right? But there are moments when I feel, oh, if this thing is really relevant to this thing here, like let's say perfect prospects, and now this is about, implementing some sort of sales process, maybe like this person over here, that's when I may show like, here's how this person scaled his business to over $2.5 million utilizing this strategy, right? So that's the next thing, right? Taking out bits and pieces of testimonial from the main place to segments that is pertinent to what it is that you're learning over there. And then I would say finally on the landing page, you'll reach a point in time where after that, now that you have all these different moving parts, it would be just split testing. So split testing would be like, I honestly do not know if like this whole section here would continue to increase your opt-in rate, because you will reach a point in time where less might be more. So until you actually test it out, you wouldn't really know. But I would say that some parts, you might want to think about testing it by removing some sections altogether. But this would be a great control. Fix the above the fold, and you should see a noticeable difference in the opt-ins. Moving forward a little bit, here's what I would say in order for you to split test this. Okay, so sometimes what I would do is I want to be able to take a very extreme difference in terms of like long versus short copy. So what I would even do is once this thing is done, once the change are done, I want to be able to think about if this was just super short with this, and yes, I want to be able to make money in social media, where it's completely blind, like where I don't even explain to them what's going to happen, okay, and as well as the breakdown, would this actually help me with my conversions? And sometimes it's really hard to tell, and that's why you want to have some sort of just control, and then after that, just split test and do a mix and match and see what happens. Okay, but this is a good control. I always start off with the long form as well, but then after that, I might have, I might delete some segments, I might delete all the segments altogether, and just split traffic out to different variations to be able to see what actually happens and to be able to see the difference in the numbers. Well, I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes to this coaching call. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button. It does help the channel out a little bit. And to subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of future videos just like this one. Now, some of you asking me, how can I be part of this process? How can I ask you questions? How can I have you coach me or mentor me? We want to make sure that we are working with the people that's the right fit. You'll need to fill up a form. There's a link right below this video. Somebody on my team might give you a call to interview you to see if they're right fit for each other. And if you want to apply and see if you're a good fit, then all you need to do is click on this link in the description box below, and my team will be in touch with you.